Okay, it's Tuesday, March 15th,
18th.
18th.
It's Monday.
And
Monday.
It's Monday. Why is this
Why is it,
schedule
right,
so fucked up? Anyway, I'm gonna call this meeting to order as vice chairman. First order of business is to salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business for our board is to elect a new chairman, and I'm gonna nominate Bob Murray.
I second that.
I'll accept your nomination.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. And I would nominate Chip Albee as vice chairman for another year.
I can second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Okay.
thank you. All right, first order of business is public hearing. Public hearing for the fire department. Pursuant to New Hampshire NHRSA 31:95-E, the Tufton Borough Board of Selectmen opened the public hearing for the purpose of accepting property donated to the town with a value of $5,000 or more. Equipment donated from the Tufton Borough Firefighters Association to the Tufton Borough Fire Department as follows. The first piece of equipment to accept is a tilt deck trailer and upgrades valued at $20,000. Any public input? Okay, maybe just give a brief description of
Actually, I'll give you your packet so you
what we're
have
accepting.
those. And that also includes my update for today.
Thank you.
Audrey, do you want us to vote for these separately, or can we include them as one?
I thought you'd make a motion separately, but
Okay,
you could do either, whatever you're comfortable with.
okay, that's fine.
So the first item is been donated by the Mark O'Connell Foundation. It's a 22-foot hull porter tilt deck trailer, and it's going to be used with our current airboat. Basically, what it does is make our life much safer and easier as far as trying to unload the airboat and load it on as far as that goes. The deck tilts up and the boat slides down instead of trying to muscle it off like we have in the past as far as that goes. And if for some reason we can't get it back onto the trailer has a winch to pull it up. And basically that is what we have been practicing, is just pulling it right on instead of trying to drive it on with the tilt deck being like that. The cost of the trailer was $14,163.50. We also had a couple other items as far as delivery was $3,805.85, and upfitting was $2,031. So the total value was $20,000 for that unit. And if anyone has any questions about what the Mark O'Connell Foundation is, I'll be more than glad to update that.
I think it'd be a good idea to give a
So
brief.
the Mark O'Connell Foundation was put in place because a gentleman died on Lake Winnipesaukee during fishing derby. Actually, there were two in one incident, two gentlemen that had drowned in a ice rescue situation. Their snow machines went through the ice and they couldn't get out. A third gentleman made it to shore in Molten Borough. We were part of the recovery rescue situation with that. The Mark O'Connell's children had set up this foundation to help emergency responders get equipment that will make life-saving efforts quicker and have the equipment more prevalent. They had purchased Moltenboro a hovercraft for this type of situation for ice rescues. Alton, once they had a used airboat, they bought them another trailer and some other equipment to go along with the airboat, and we in turn received this trailer. Each year they try to do something for a department in the Lakes region as far as or around the lake. And we will end up putting something in the paper as far as for what I had just told you, if this is accepted as far as it goes. Just thanking them obviously for this and having the general public know what this was all about.
Very good. Any questions from the board?
Just, do you want a motion? Because we need to make
Yeah,
sure.
that was next.
Okay. I'm gonna move that we accept this tilt deck trailer gift in the amount of $20,000.35
And 35 cents.
in deference to accuracy.
Okay.
I can second that.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. And the second item we have,
The second item is a UTV, an enclosed trailer valued at $73,411. There's a breakdown in front of you as far as what it consists of. It consists of a 2024 Can-Am Defender, HD 10 Pro Limited, and the breakdown as far as what is in that unit is there. The value of that unit was $40,792. 2024 Chemtech Forestry Rescue Skid Unit, which is a tank that, as you can see, that's in the back along with a pump, and it also has a area to carry a patient on that unit. That value was $6,100. And the 2024 Alcom Stealth trailer was valued at $20,731. That is a 20-foot enclosed trailer with the ramp door. And miscellaneous upfitting was $5,788. And that would include, as far as installing radios for talking to the dispatch, repeater system, and some lights and things as far as the unit itself. That is a breakdown of that. Is there any questions in reference to that? So it'll not only be used in the wintertime as far as with the tracks for going out on the snow machine trails for accidents and different types of situations that are out there where we don't use a snow machine, we use this as a dual purpose unit. In the summertime or springtime or fall, it'll be used as a forestry, or if we had to go onto one of the trails that we could get into as far as our town for hiking incidents. Castle McLeod's, for example, their trails will fit this particular unit and things like that. So it's a multi-purpose vehicle. It is set up so that if it had to, with the tires, it can go down the road. It is registered with the state of New Hampshire, and it does have windshield wipers and the whole setup for that as far as it goes also.
So the tires get, so will the tires get swapped out automatically?
They happen today.
Oh, okay, so
So
it's a seasonal thing, you'll
It's a
just
seasonal
swap them,
thing.
yeah.
Yep. So, two of our members went to HK Power today, and HK Power swapped out the tires, and our people learned how
to do
to
it.
do that. And it's really simple as far as it goes, but we felt that, we needed them to, show us
Yeah.
at least once to take care of that. And for future, we can do it ourselves.
Any input or questions from the public? I have one question.
Yes.
Can these tracks be used on asphalt?
I
I know they're probably designed for grass, dirt, and
Yeah,
whatever.
they're designed for
But if it had to be
grass,
driven on the
But
road,
if it had to be driven on the road, I know that it has gone across the asphalt and stuff like that if it needed to.
well, you mentioned Castle in the Clouds. I mean, maybe there would be an opportunity if you had to drive up the road.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Would be able to negotiate that road
Yeah,
with tracks.
yeah.
Interesting.
And is this gas or diesel?
It's gas.
Gas.
Yeah, it's a gas unit.
All right. I see no questions from the public. I would entertain a motion.
Motion to accept the UTV and enclosed trailer for the value of $73,411.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that took both of those out of capital improvement,
Excellent,
so that's not something that will come.
excellent. Thank you very much. Will we be sending a thank you letter
Yes,
to these folks?
yes, most
Will
definitely.
you be authoring that, or would Audrey be authoring that?
It's totally up to you. If you want us to take care of it, we can, or we can give the information to Audrey and.
I don't know, I'll ask the opinion, would it be more appropriate for a thank you letter to come from the selectmen or from the fire department?
It feels like from the fire department personally, but.
Chip?
Yeah, that's how generally we do it. I
Yep.
think.
Okay.
It was a gift to the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. And that being done, I'll close the public hearing. What should have been the first order of business before we did the public hearing is I would welcome Dave Dauphinay as our new selectman.
Thank you.
And thank Guy Pike for his service as selectman.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay. The next is review and approval of minutes.
Do you want to do public input?
I'd like to.
Public input.
Yes, I'm here also to welcome Dave to the seat of selectmen and to express my gratitude to my fellow selectmen, Bob and Chip. And Dave, I know that Bob and Chip will help you along and get you started on this, just like Chip and Bill Markison did with me. And our office staff is friendly and helpful, so feel free to lean on them at any time you need to. They'll do a good job for you. Thanks for taking the position.
You're welcome, and I look forward to working with everybody here.
Good, glad to have you on board. Anybody else?
Just welcome to a new position now, taking over another.
Your name?
position in town. Tom White.
Tom White. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any interest in today's meeting other than seeing how sausage is made?
Seeing how sausage is made.
All right. Well, thank you for showing. I wish more people would come and see.
For some reason, I was sitting up at that building there until I realized all the cars were down in.
Okay, seeing no more public input, I will now move on to the approval of minutes.
Okay.
Now, we have Selectmen's meeting minutes from Tuesday, March 12th, 2024.
Yeah, I've reviewed them and I'd like to make a motion that we approve them.
I'm obviously going to abstain.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have non-public minutes from the same day, March 12th, 2024.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I will second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to also make a motion that these remain sealed.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. For our appointments today, let's see, we did the public hearing. Fire Department monthly update. Back to the packet, right? Back to the packet.
Okay, so for 2024, 34 fire calls, 42 EMS, 24 service calls, 3 special details for 103. Gas furnace inspections, 11. Oil burner inspections, 1. Wood pellet stove inspections, 1. Life safety, 9, for a total of 22. And we're about on target as far as for what we had in 2023. We were down by 11 calls, but we're up in the inspection section. As normal, the listed calls below are a summary of the larger calls only, and a complete list is not here of all of our responses. 2/28/24, 09:15 a.m. welfare check on Waterbury Island. Boat 2, Car 1 responded with a crew of 3 to Pier 19 docks. An additional 4 staged at Central. The missing subject was located safe and sound. No emergencies were found, and no vehicle was through the ice. Good intent call was called. During the incident, Boat 2 experienced a mechanical issue, and the crew returned to Union Wharf. It was determined that there was an issue with a joint in the polymer coating on the bottom of the boat separating, causing a significant drag on the ice. Moltenboro Fire Rescue was requested mutual aid with their hovercraft. Moltenboro Fire Department responded with an additional 3 personnel to the area of Union Wharf. The incident was completed and handled using their vessel along with Captain Morgan as the Tuftonboro representative with that.
What are you using now instead of Union Wharf?
As far as area wise, depending on as far as launch wise, we're still able to get out with the airboat past that. So that's not a big deal. We basically, as far as the airboat, we can launch that, right off from the 20 Mile Bay. We can park in the middle of the road, dump the boat, and go off from there. Or we could get into the parking lot at the beach and go down from there. Further in this, as far as the bigger boat, you'll see that we have permission from the association at the docks at Pier 19 to use the area right across from where our boat is normally kept. We have that in writing through an email for that permission, and so we've got that all set up. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to be as far as the repairs, but we'll continue there until everything is completed. 02/28/24 at 10:12 p.m. a tree fell on a house at 14 Governor Wentworth Highway. The top of a large pine tree broke off and fell on the home, causing utility wires to be pulled from the home. Rescue 1, Engine 4, Engine 1 and 2 responded with 8 personnel. The occupant was not injured. However, the home experienced damage and down utilities, which proposed a fire danger. Power was secured to the home by Wolfboro Municipal Electric. Fire dangers were isolated. The occupant stayed with a neighbor for the night until damage could be further evaluated and mitigated during the daylight hours. 03/01/24 at 10:48 p.m. Odor of gas, Farm Pond Road. Engine 2, 1, 4, Rescue 1 responded to the scene with 7 personnel. Investigation discovered that the odor was caused by smoke from outside fire hanging low due to weather and atmosphere pressure. No gas leak was noted, and all readings in the home were normal. 07:40 a.m. outdoor smoke investigation, area of Lamprey Lane and Middle Road. Unauthorized burning found on Federal Corner Road. Warning given, owner extinguished, car 1 and a POV responded with 2 personnel. 03:02:24, 09:21 a.m. injuries from a fall on the ice with serious head injury, 3/4 of a mile out onto Mirror Lake. Car 1, Boat 2, Rescue 1, Ambulance 1, and the Utility 2 responded to staging at Governor Wentworth Highway and Mirror Lake Boat Launch with 9 personnel. Stewart's Ambulance, along with Tuftonboro PD and Wolfboro PD, also provided assistance. The airboat was launched from the boat launch at Governor Wentworth Highway, and personnel were able to safely travel across the ice, treat the patient, and place the patient in Boat 2 for transport back to shore. Stewart's Ambulance transported the patient to Huggins Hospital. The patient was later transferred to Portsmouth Hospital due to his serious injuries. And that was the case with this new trailer that you just accepted. We went from probably 10 minutes as far as unloading, or a little bit more, down to like 4 minutes or less to safely unloading. People didn't have the opportunity of, trying to lift and get hurt to do so, and we got to the patient much quicker with that, so that was great. 03:08:24 at 7:53 a.m. MVA rollover in the area of 24 Middle Road. Rescue 1, Ambulance 1 responded to the scene with 4 personnel. Additionally, incident was reported by Stewart's Ambulance and Tuftonboro PD. Engine 4, Car 1 were canceled en route and covered from Central with 2 personnel. Occupants were evaluated and refused treatment. Personnel from Rescue 1 and Ambulance 1 remained at the scene to assist with traffic control, debris cleaning up, and the vehicle removal by White's Towing. Our fire prevention department has been busy researching and enforcing codes regarding many new locations seeking use as wedding venues or other change of use inquiries. The polymer on the bottom of Boat 2 was repaired on 02/29 of 24 after the separation issue removed it from service on 2/28/24. The repair was completed at Kimball and Doobies in Gray, Maine. The company stood behind their work and did not charge for the repair as they replaced the polymer 2 years ago. On 3/7/24, the annual major PM was completed at Central Station for the generator. No issues were found. PM completed by generator connection of Barrington, New Hampshire for $600. Arrangement is in writing in the place with Pier 19 Docks and Association, which is in the back of your packet, to keep Boat 1 moored on the association dock, opposite of where it's normally docked, until the wharf construction is completed. Annual in-house spring maintenance on Boat 1 is underway, which includes top to bottom washing, cleaning, and waxing, along with bottom painting. This work is being completed by department personnel at the Central Station, and as anticipated, the boat will be in the water by the end of the next week. Do you have any questions for that so far?
Yeah, I assume that not just one person will have the combination to the gate, you'll have multiple people that...
We
will
actually have a
access.
lockbox down there with the combination, so the fire department has a code to get into the gate as far as it goes. We have that there for, obviously other rescue reasons during the time period to make entry through those gates if something else happens there also. So that was all taken care of once those gates went into place and into operation. Station standby generator at Mirror Lake Station. We are looking to confirm that Tim Christian's bid for $13,800 was the bid chosen by the select board last year, and we can move forward with the project.
I don't remember taking a vote on that. I remember seeing the bids, but I don't remember taking a vote on it.
I think that there was, but,
Think so?
however, I will, that's why I'm coming forward to double check. The three bids, and the RFP are in your packet, as far as what the costs were. The three people that had bid were generator connection, $15,600. Scott Thompson Electric, $15,000. Tim Christian Electric, $13,800. The White Mountain Oil and Propane the cost is $960 to take care of their part. And there's $1,000 that was in that warrant article for propane, for the tank. We will not own the tank, they own the tank. So that's where the prices had come from. Okay.
Audrey, if you could just confirm.
All three bids incorporate the same amount of work.
I don't recall either if there was a vote. I have to go back to the minutes. Yeah.
Thank you. It was sometime in December, 'cause those are the dates on this,
Paperwork.
on the-
I know that we had to
And these
obviously
quotes.
have something in place for the warrant article, so.
Right.
All right. Captain Morgan will be out for shoulder repair starting March 26, 2024. This was not a work-related issue. We are working on filling his shifts, and he will be on light duty when he returns for a period of time. With that, he will be sending you an email of a breakdown of his timeline, what he can work and things like that. We've gone over this with Audrey as far as, and she's checked with retirement, Primex, and whatever that he needs to, how much time he needs to work or whatever, covering that, or if he takes medical leave and things like that. It looks like that he probably will be putting in, once he gets back to the point, he'll be putting in 20 hours as far as whatever time, and then going from there. But again, it'll all be broke down for you to go through as far as select board.
And I assume you have enough office duty, office work and
We have
light duty
we
work.
have lots as far as that goes, and it'll be a good chance to catch up with that different stuff.
Okay.
And get some things in place that we would like to have in place and catch up on. Reminder that the permits are needed now for outside burning, now that we do not have snow cover. And obviously for seasonal permits, you can either get that online or you can come into the station. Everyday permits, the Tuftonboro General Store does the outside permits also, but does not do the seasonal part with that. And Captain Morgan is sent the email to the general store in reference to some training that is coming up. It's actually being held in our town, so that'll be good to have them involved for that as far as it goes. The department is extremely grateful with both warrant articles passing this year at town meeting. We'd like to thank our outstanding community for their continued support with that. And do you have questions for?
I know we've discussed it in the past, and I know we've talked about it with regards to the camps especially, but
Yeah.
you mentioned code enforcement and inspections for wedding venues.
Yes.
Is there a schedule of fees for that?
We have nothing
So I think
for
we need to
that.
start considering that, 'cause,
Okay,
I mean, I'm not having weddings at my house, I don't
Right.
should pay for you guys to go up there.
Yeah.
So I'll bring that up at a selectmen's meeting at some point.
I know that there's at least 4 locations that are coming up
Right.
that are looking to be wedding venues.
And I'd asked, Captain Morgan and you, I think at one point in time, to calculate the hours for these inspections at
Yep.
the camp. So-
And I know that we were in the process, and obviously with other things take precedence, but we were in the process of collecting fee schedules from other areas as far as for inspections and stuff like that. But it hasn't been completely finished yet. So,
Thanks.
but,
I'm good.
Excuse me, I looked back on the minutes of December 26th and reviewed the 3 bids, but there was no vote
no,
taken.
well, okay.
And what was how much was the total warrant article?
15.6, I believe,
15.6?
if my memory serves me correctly.
$15,760. So that included,
So the only thing, if we're including that propane, the only bid that satisfies that is Tim Christian.
yes.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we award the bid to Tim Christian Electric.
I'll second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Awesome. We'll give them a call and go from there. I appreciate your time with that.
Make sure his bid is still good.
We'll contact them, make sure everything is still good, and go from there. We're continuing to work, obviously, as far as the warrant article with the fire truck. We have the 3 companies that we received bids from, as far as that goes. We're down to 2. We're gonna meet with one tomorrow and one on Wednesday to get their specs further in. The bid with Pierce, which was $1.2 million, we feel is obviously a pretty high bid. But with our warrant article, we had to base it off the highest bid that came out. We know that we can get it down, less as far as it goes, but we don't know how much. I did check with the financing as far as lease purchase. The one thing that changes with the whole lease purchase thing is that if we went in at $1.2 million, when you get down towards $1 million, the percentage goes up a little bit because you're taking less money. So they had said the 7-year lease purchase in advance would be 5.79% for that for 7 years. For 5 years, it was 5.77%. So it changes up a little bit, but it's not going to change anything as far as us not having enough money or anything like that, because we're going to be less than the 1.2 that was originally assessed at, as far as it goes. And with the warrant article, it was 1.4 and change as far as it goes, that was voted on for the whole thing. So that was with interest and everything down the road. So
What is the assumption that whatever price that they give you, because I know that there's a time period between the contract and the actual
Yes.
delivery, that won't change in that
So-
period of time?
So with the what we have done in the past is do a prepayment with with everything there as far as it's bonded. So in case that they can't build the truck, that it will be built one way or another by someone. It'll be paid for by that insurance that is taken out with that. What we have done in the past is pay for the piece up front, and that's like a $77,000 savings up front with that. And our first payment is made in 2024. So when the next year comes around, the interest is a little bit less because you're not paying for so much as far as that goes. We will be significantly into the truck as far as payment wise before we receive it. It's up to 2 to 3 years now to get a engine. It used to be 1 year. So and that was the other thing with the manufacturer, that as far as Pierce, they were longer. So we don't want to go out to 4 years.
So perhaps I'm oversimplifying, but we're paying interest on something that we won't have delivered for 2 to 3 years.
Correct, but you're saving upfront money that you're not taking money out for as far as it goes.
And hedging price increases.
Right. And there's no price increase for that. If you don't pay for it up front, they can change, it changes or it can change.
Yep.
Neighboring towns have ran into that with the equipment, and I've seen it happen in other departments in New Hampshire. I just don't want the opportunity that in whatever amount of days they say, oh, it's going to be an extra $100,000. Also, as far as with each year that we didn't purchase the truck, it was slated to go up 15%. And also in 2025, there's an emissions change for a new engine that they haven't come down to how much it's going to cost. It was like between $50,000 and $75,000.
So we'd be grandfathered under the old.
Yes, if we have okay, and we've signed the paperwork and done whatever before a certain period of time. I think it's June. We will be able to get whatever engine that we need to get for the truck, and not fall under that higher cost. So that's all things that we were looking at, down the line, and why we were pushing to get it taken care of in 2024 instead of waiting when it was due in 2025. We're only a couple, we're whatever amount of months difference, but we're going to cost us a lot of money if we waited.
Okay. Is that it?
That's all I have.
Any
Anything further?
Any further questions for the chief?
No, I've been asking all along.
All right. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. You have a good afternoon.
You too. Next on our agenda is Ken Lavitt. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You did. Thank you very much. I'm here, it centers around Phineas Graves Road. And Bill, I thank you for closing it because it was getting pretty bad. I appreciate that. I don't have my initial, I got three things basically I'm addressing, calling your attention to more than anything else. One is the liability that you seem to have held off on. You cured immediately with closing the road, but I'd also be concerned after any and all repairs have been made, particularly as to the bridge. There's a culvert, stone slab culvert, just as you turn on to Phineas Graves Road off of Stillings, or off of, they call it Stillings. So what's happening is the water, even though despite work that's been done on it, is coming down right onto the bridge itself and flowing all over the sides of the bridge. And as a result, it's made the what used to be nothing but bridge, but they backfilled with sand so they could put the new rail in on the side, and the water has come down over the bridge. It has not drained off into the ditches. I got pictures of that. And what it's done is softened that edge out so that the first snowstorm, the new set of rails pushed out to the side. And my concern will be in the future, even with that, is since it's a stone bridge, you can't drive those posts in very far. There's not much to secure against because you're going up against stone underneath. So my concern is that if a car, or as one of the gentlemen said, they want to get it so there's 2 cars can pass, which is pretty slim on Phineas Graves Road, particularly on the end that I live on, just because of the width. That I think a car, if there were 2 cars to try to pass there or even get over on the side with the softness of it is and the lack of support for those rails, there'll be trouble and liability to the town. So as I see it, there's a lot of ditch work on the road that's been done, but it's gone right up to the edge of the stone walls, which are the boundaries between property and the road. And then particularly it's dug into the, as you know, stone walls. They got a base of small stones underneath with the larger roads on top so that the frost won't heave the stone wall. But they have dug into that and caused a greater slope on there. There's no vegetation there. In fact, what trees were there, and I realize the ash tree has to be removed because it's dying, but there's some big oaks that were there that weren't in the road, but they were up close to the wall. Their root system holds that back. I got a couple of notes here. And I've got, I don't know how much time, I've only got about 15 minutes, so I didn't make a lot of pictures, but I would hope that you would go out and perhaps take a look.
Yeah.
So safety is a key thing, even after the road is built. I have personally seen 12-wheelers, concrete trucks go up over that bridge. And I don't care what they want to say on a per axle basis. If a truck goes up there, the vibration of that truck on the slabs that are underneath there is pretty dangerous. I used to, as you know, I used to live down in New Durham. My father had a stone bridge underneath there, and a logging truck went over it, and that's what happened, is it broke it. Also, I've seen quite a few times, a piece of heavy construction equipment being hauled up after a trailer, like a what do you call it? They use the woods for logging. Skidder, yeah, thank you. And they go up over that when they should, if anything, go around the other way and avoid the bridge. So I'd be concerned, even after what repairs might be done, if there wasn't a constant weight limit on there to keep those vehicles off of it. I mean, it's a shortcut for who? Basically, the few people that live on there. Outside of that, you go up 171 or up Durgan Road. So the other thing I've been looking at, I know that from doing some research that in 2006, the state set up, hired a party to evaluate the stone bridges that there are through here, the county. As it is, it's a tourist attraction to have a nice looking bridge. Stone walls are too, so if you remove those, you're also affecting the appearance of the rural community, even though there may be reasons otherwise, but that should be taken in consideration on what you finally do with the bridge. I think Sue will probably speak about the cemetery. I had her come up and take a look at it. It's stone walls in front have been, because of the ditching, they put you can't see the stone wall. The stone wall is there because I can go into the cemetery and see it. Entrance stone has been broken down. In other words, when you go by the cemetery, it's buried under a mound of dirt. There are branches in there, branches alongside the road which haven't been cleared up. I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm just telling you the condition that you can look at yourself. That's the main thing. So I think some attention, definitely some restoration probably should be done for the oldest cemetery in the town. This Phineas Graves was one of the founders of the town, and his house is right opposite that cemetery.
Was any of this dirt that you say is up against the stone wall around the cemetery put there by our highway department?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what I'm addressing.
Okay. Just
It-
We
it-
making sure.
did have the road agent in 2 weeks ago, was it? I think, or 3 weeks ago. And someone else had complained about the drainage on Phineas Graves. And he said he was gonna go up and do something about it, but now we're hearing what might have been done.
Well, you'll see,
Mhm.
there's still a stone wall, but when they scooped it and backfilled, they've gone from the very base of the large stones down, and in the case of the cemetery, they buried it. I can show you a quick picture here, just to give you. I think I can.
Well, I intend on going up and seeing it with my own eyes.
But that's the nature. The other thing, and I'll be glad to show you that too, is stone walls by my property, and I've got surveys here in particular. Phineas, I got one there, and you can have a larger one here. I'm this lot 3. This comes off of Sawyer Road, is right out here. This swings onto it. This is a sharp corner. It's actually the old road. Phineas Graves Road used to come out down here. And when the town of Ossipee and Tufton Borough were disputing that curve that they put in, the road was moved, so there's a curve out here now. But the actual old road was here, the intersection of Phineas Graves and Sawyer Road was actually right there. So it was a stop. What's happened is they've come in and there was I think, there might have been a tree there, dug it out, but they've also removed the stones here, so that I have some of the base stones, but there was also a marker here, survey marker that's defined clearly on this by reference from this map to this map. As a surveyor's marker, it's gone. And so that's my personal beef. I want my stone walls replaced or put back to normal and my marker resurveyed and put in. The town doesn't have a right to do that, I don't believe, as far as I'm concerned. Also, the stone wall down by the brook has been covered up. And even along the road, there are stones that have been places where they've punched in to get the tree, because they came up with a what do you call it? I'm sorry, I have long-term Lyme, so it's bothering my memory process. The big
Excavator?
excavator, thank you very much.
That's all I needed was.
Well,
So this is, the stone wall replacement that you're looking for is on lot 2,
3.
lot 3. So on Sawyer Road, or off Sawyer
It's,
Road?
It's this one right here.
I'm sorry.
this is more zoomed in, I think.
This may be a larger map for you. Okay, this is where the bridge is down here. As you can see, that marks the wall, pretty clearly delineates it. There's one other thing I want to mention about the bridge to you, or the culvert, as they call it. My driveway entrance is here, my house is here now, and it's this corner right here. I
So
have
2 and 3 are yours? Is that
No.
what you're saying?
3.
That's 3.
I front Sawyer Road and Phineas Graves Road.
Okay.
And they merge right here,
Right.
now.
And your house is where?
There.
Okay, so lot 2.
It's 3 years old. I almost can move into it, but 3 years for a construction period is what's pretty standard now.
Right at the blink of an eye.
So it's this disc that's missing. And that disc is fine, it refers to this earlier map, which is, I think it does say it here. If you look at the field notes, it kicks you back to another map and it delineates the surveyor's disc that's here.
Okay, so is it the corner of Phineas and Sawyer?
No, it's Phineas Graves goes around here
Okay,
and it
to
meets
Sawyer.
Sawyer Road.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay,
Yep. yep.
sorry about that.
No,
but
no,
that's-
I understand now.
Because the old road went this way,
Yep.
past Barry's house,
Yep.
Barry Ennis's house. Back here on the bridge, there's what's a strange thing, and the new contractors have followed suit on it. There is actually no visible culvert, if you will, of stone. It's been filled in. I mentioned it to them on the town. I said, shouldn't there be a stone culvert that would go underneath that? He says, yeah, but they just backfilled more sand and everything underneath there. Well, water will find its way through the part of least resistance, but it'll also wash the bridge out underneath it if it doesn't have that clear path to go in.
Right.
And point out on there where exactly that bridge is.
The bridge is right, or the culvert as they call it, is right here. It's marked on this map.
Okay.
I can get a print for this if it's of help to you, but
No, that's fine.
this wall is buried right now, and that's one thing I'd want.
And that's before the water's in that
No,
direction.
that's buried because there's been fill put in there,
I appreciate that, but the way the water wants to go is in that direction.
down here. Goes to Garland Pond this way.
Yeah, it goes to Garland.
Goes in-
up. Okay,
It comes down off the hill here.
all right.
In fact, it's all hill, so this is a pretty heavy drainage site. I can give you a quick look at this here. So this is, excuse the, that's what the side of the, that's part of the bridge there. It's on, that would be on this side. It's quite substantial in terms of its, and this is where the,
If we're gonna go
you're
down,
gonna,
if we're gonna go down and look at it, may we have your permission to go on your property to scope it out?
yeah, just wear your boots.
Okay,
That's for your own benefit.
thank you.
In fact, if you
Appreciate
give,
that.
if you give me a call, I'll gladly go down and show you what I know about it.
Okay.
So, the cemetery, which Sue will confirm, the general way the ditches are through the whole road, but I'm only commenting what's here. And the fact that the water now is coming down the road here, in the road, coming down in the road here. It merges at the low point, which is at the bridge, goes over the side of the bridge. In the case of the bridge, it should be stopped back here, and it should be stopped back here and out to the side. I'm not an engineer, but I know where water goes, I've got a rough idea. So that would not, it's got serious problems. I know that in 2007, the state of New Hampshire did a lot of research on this type of bridge and set up a basis of criteria if people wanted to, if towns wanted to get them on a historic roster. I don't know whether this is, or I think there's another one in town. I don't even know what the bridge, the culvert number, I think you have a list of them. I can get you a copy of that document, or at least it's online, you can go and get it. It's very helpful whether you are going to put this on a historic register or not, but it gives you definite guidelines on how to maintain these bridges.
Well, that sounds helpful. I mean, there are a couple of stone bridges in town. I didn't realize that one was a stone bridge.
Yeah.
but
It wants to be one.
It used to be one.
Yeah, as I say, I left my copy at the house. I can even go and bring it back, so you've got a copy of it.
Oh, anything that you can help us, anything that
Yeah.
you can give us would be
It
helpful.
was a short meeting, so I didn't know
Yep,
what
yep,
what
that's
I
fine.
could use your time for, but if I got your attention, that's what I wanted.
You have our attention.
So-
Would you like to?
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have pictures of the cemetery before the work began. And we had four granite posts, at the two different entrances to the cemetery. They were all standing. One of them's now broken in half. The others are
And three,
leaning.
and it was standing this fall. I mean, they got a little.
Well, I
They've-
believe 2 weeks, who can you believe? I'm saying it's standing.
They've disrespected the wall. The wall is the same as down below. They've just covered it with fill and debris.
So the cemetery wall and the road wall are the
The
same.
same, yeah.
at that
And I have
location.
pictures of what it used to be like, which you can have
Okay.
when you go out there.
I've got pictures of it.
So these are strictly the before?
Before,
Okay.
Mm.
This is the wall that you're speaking of. Oh, and these are the granite posts. One of them is broken.
yeah.
They're old granite posts. Oh.
So here's what it looks like now.
Alana was up there today also and took some pictures, which she had said she was gonna send to me, but I haven't received them.
So this just happened. I mean, it's a recent
For
occurrence.
this season, they
This
started this
season.
summer. They've been working on it all summer, haven't they? Summer and
They
fall.
worked in the winter on it.
Yeah, I saw the ditching going on Ledge Hill Road just a couple of days ago. I don't know if it's in the same.
This was, since we had a mild winter, they've been out there working on it.
Okay.
Usually two guys, one with a chainsaw, cutting down the trees, and then with the excavator, they've been picking it up.
Jeff, did you go look at the complaint on Federal Corner, because it was very similar to this?
Yeah, I drove out the length of Federal Corner Road. There isn't a 115 Federal Corner Road, and there's no ditch work going on Federal Corner Road. So maybe she gave you the wrong address.
That's the old rail there, that's actually a washout there. This is it here. Yeah, I'll make some, my printer of all days.
That's fine.
So,
I'll make some prints for you on it.
I mean, it seems like the gate's a little ways from the roadbed. How did they, I'm just looking at this picture.
What's the question?
The gate
Yeah.
stones seem to be a little far away from the road.
Yes, they were,
They were,
not
not anymore.
anymore.
They pushed the road right up under the wall, basically. Or the area they're working on is under the base of the wall, so
Can you get that to Sue?
Sure, because when you go around,
you can have those if
All
you
right.
think
Yeah,
they might be helpful.
when you go down the road, it's actually England's got his driveway right at the ground, so they started hugging that more and more. The whole idea was, I guess, to spread the road further apart.
Chuck England?
Beg pardon?
You said England. Chuck England?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's next to the cemetery.
Right.
But I'd be glad to be more formal, but I think if you need to go out there and take
Yeah,
a
we'll
look
take
at it.
a look.
It's not pretty.
Do we have your phone number?
603
Yeah,
651
yeah.
9114.
Thank you.
if a wife answers, if a woman answers, it's not my wife, I don't know her.
All right.
I just wanna let you know. Don't worry, sure is.
Okay. All right. Is that all? Is that all for now?
Is that enough, yeah?
Yeah. No, just making sure. I don't want to cut you off.
No, I don't have a group of pictures to gladly show you,
Alright.
but I think I've accomplished what I want, is to have you go take a
Yeah. Send in anything that you want. Any pictures? Any further descriptions? Maps with circles and arrows and
I'll print
pictures on the
these-
back,
print
whatever.
these out, yeah.
Okay. And give them to Audrey. She'll make sure that we get them.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Ken.
you. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Next order of business, police department update. Interim chief.
Evening.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let's see. 22 Tahoe had the windshield pump replaced. That was under warranty, and that vehicle is out on the road right now. The 23 Tahoe that had the cruiser video system mounted that it shouldn't have. I called the company. They actually showed up at the Tufton Central Fire Station this past week on Friday. Totally took it out for me at no cost. They weren't sure where the communication fell through. They want us as a customer. They came and did it at no charge. So that is all back up and everything is good. 2016 Explorer. I contacted the state down at the auction place. What he said was they utilize an auctioneer out of Epping to do the auctions. They use the state land, but the state does not have anything to do with vehicles that the state does not own. So they have an auctioneer take care of that. It is 2 times a year only, 3rd Saturday in May and 3rd Saturday in October. He told me that the way that it works is we would take all the paperwork and the cruiser to the auctioneer ahead of time. They'll take pictures, all that stuff they need to do to publicize it. And then what happens is they turn around, and if somebody bids on it, there's a certain percentage of the bidding process that will pay for the auctioneer, so the town does not owe anything to anybody, and the auctioneer cuts us a check.
Did you get my email?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I got
Oh yeah, it says right there.
yep, I got Bob's email. I'd asked him, or he volunteered to have a little listing, a Craigslist that he uses at the county level. I did receive that from him. I think the big question, quite frankly, is it's very possible that we could get a higher bid going through this auction process in Concord, just because of how far word of mouth and everything is spread out. Question's also going to be is whether we are going to take the man hours to kind of go down to the auctioneer in Epping, get the vehicle down there, get the paperwork over to him, et cetera, whereas if we just throw something up on Craigslist, it's a matter of people want to meet with a police officer to see the cruiser, we see it, and the man hours aren't really being expended.
Yeah.
In either case, I'm willing to, work with you guys as to what your thoughts are on it. I don't know how long it took the bidding process through Craigslist last time, because I wasn't sure when he posted it.
Pretty quick.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
once you post the ad, you can set how long you want it to be advertised for.
Sure.
A couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Set an expiration date for the bids to come in, which would probably be a week or two after. Set a viewing day. You can do it a multiple viewing days, or you can do a single viewing day.
Okay.
And the turnaround's pretty quick.
Yeah.
They'll send you the bid. The bids will get opened by the selectmen at a following meeting, and we'll award the bid, and that's
Yeah,
pretty
you
much
could-
it.
Yeah.
They don't need it there until 2 weeks prior to the 18th of May.
Right.
So you could run it through the balance of March and April on Craigslist and see what you got.
Sure. We could.
You know, and then if
Mhm.
there's no activity or it doesn't seem like it's working.
We did have a
Still
call
have
about
time.
it today, so if people are interested.
I'm all for keeping it simple. You're understaffed right now, and
Yeah.
and I don't know if you really have the time to go chasing vehicles and doing whatever you have to do for the state. I'll leave that decision up to you.
Okay.
My personal feeling, not speaking for the board, my personal feeling is just to do it here on Craigslist and do it locally, just get it done with and expend the least amount of time that you have to on it. That's just my opinion.
Fair enough. I mean, I think that I think we have to get the cruiser to Concord, and we have to go and meet in Epping with the auctioneer. So, I mean, you know, there is going to be time out of town. Whether it's 2 officers to get a cruiser down there to drop it, hoping that it doesn't come back, then, or whether it's an officer and a volunteer, that's to be determined. My gut feeling is that maybe we should take a stab at Craigslist first. It's possible we may have it out of the parking lot before the May deadline.
Yep.
I would agree.
Before that auction even
So,
starts.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
So, okay. All right. What I will do is I'll draft something up with the info that we need for the Craigslist listing. Do you want me to drop it by you?
Yeah,
Ahead of
'cause
time,
we'll
yeah, I
have
don't-
sealed bids due a certain date, so we should
Yeah.
discuss those.
Okay. Yep. All right. I'll follow up with Audrey and get
I'd
her
like
in the
to-
mix and let you look at it.
Yeah,
as
I'd like
well,
to see
so.
you have a minimum bid on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you
okay.
do it in open auction, you could get $12 for it, and if you don't put a minimum bid.
Yeah.
But the
okay.
minimum bid's got to be something reasonable that's
Yeah.
below the price of the vehicle or the value of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, super. All right. Directed patrols, handling calls for service, they're ongoing. I haven't had any lengthy investigations come in since we last met 2 weeks ago. I met with Principal Small at Tufton Borough Central School. I talked to her about having officers come in, having lunch with the kids again. We had done that before. She brought up the point that we had not been in since COVID started, which, you know, I would like to get that program going, and she was very receptive to start the program. So I'll follow up with her in the near future, and when we have an opportunity to jump in there and say hi to the kids at lunch and stuff, we're going to start that up. The candidate with a conditional offer is still working on the last steps. He just went through a psychological evaluation testing, and the last 2 we have are polygraph and a medical, like physical type of thing. 2 weekends ago, had a certified officer that lives in town here come in and see me with his resume. Was very interested in coming aboard. So he is number 1. This past weekend, I had another certified officer give me his resume from another agency in Carroll County, and he is interested on coming aboard should we have a position open up. So I have 2 certified officers, 2 resumes, right on my desk just in case.
Excellent.
And then as far as training for me and that type of thing, with the help of Ashley and Audrey, we've really been opening up and looking at some things for me to take a look at. I haven't firmed anything up yet. In my mind, I'm still picking up the pieces, and we are short-staffed. It would be very difficult to give more time to the sheriff's office to cover, or Officer LaFave to cover. So I am going to try to see about looking for some distance learning kind of things that I can do in the office between calls or administrative duties. So I'm still working on that.
So back to the 2 certified officers.
Yes.
What's their start date if they were to decide to take the job?
The first one that I met with is ready to fill out the application packet for the background and start rocking and rolling at any point in the near future. He has a friend in state police that's trying to recruit him. I kind of said, can you give me a little bit of time so we can see what's going on here? I think he's more wanting to be in a community-based type of setting as opposed to possibly being on an interstate somewhere. I think he wants to interact with public and that kind of thing. So I see that as a positive. This other gentleman that I spoke to this weekend, I didn't even get to the point of asking a question of, you know, when would he be available? But I do think that he would probably be willing to start the process at any point as well.
But the process is significantly shorter than the process for a brand new wannabe policeman.
Yes. What would happen is they're already gone to the academy. They're already certified. They don't need as much field training in our agency as to how we do things, because a lot of the police work stuff is black and white across the board. It's mainly geographical stuff, how we would do things here administratively, that kind of thing, and then kick him loose. It is possible, depending on if or when an opening pops up and we get somebody on board through a background, it is possible to get a certified guy on by the time summer rolls around.
Okay.
Do you do
That is
polygraph on all new applicants for the
I'm sorry, do I do what?
polygraphs
Um,
on all applicants?
it depends on whether they've had one before through their police career. Also, I think it also depends on what we find in some of the background stuff as to whether we need to step that up or whether, you know, it's something that we can let slide. But it probably wouldn't be a bad idea, you know, so that something doesn't come up in the meantime. You know, probably my guess would be, is since there's two of them now, would probably be to turn around and hold an oral board. If it was just one person that came in and we wanted to get something rolling, then I could say, hey, we have one certified applicant, let's start the process of getting rolling. Now we have two. I'd probably do an oral board and see, you know, throw some questions at them and see really, you know, whether they would be a good fit for us or not, and then kind of see where we would go from there as to who we might, you know, extend a conditional offer to, you know, if that's where we're going to go.
Because that seems a lot more, those two people seem like better opportunities for us than a brand new guy. Because you got the academy you have to deal with. I mean, I can't see this candidate getting to the academy much before, May?
Yeah, I think where we're at is that we have a conditional offer on this individual. I would be very hesitant about pulling it if we didn't have cause. But the next academy starts in June. It comes out. It's done in October. If we can get him in the time before the academy and his hire date, we can do the field training program. Then we don't have to do it once he's out of the academy at the end. So if we can utilize our time and get him in sooner now, we can do something between now and June for him FTO wise. Yeah. And in the meantime, if there is a position, we certainly could have a certified officer slide in, and there'd be three of us, you know, while there's one in the academy. Yeah. Yeah, which would help substantially, to be honest with you.
And actually, the pay scale for being in the academy isn't gonna push your budget too hard, and he's not gonna get out till October.
Right.
At which point he's still on probation, if you will, till the end of the year, so I don't think it's
Right.
gonna affect, that salary isn't gonna really adversely affect the police budget until 25.
Right.
If we're going in that direction, then we should be able to make adjustments for that.
Yes, and I would say that this first one I spoke to 2 weeks ago, he did give me a dollar figure. Spitballing with Audrey prematurely, it's probably something we can be competitive with here, with some of the wiggle room.
Yeah, well, we have to review all of that.
Yes, absolutely,
Departments changing
absolutely,
from the top to the bottom.
absolutely.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
All right,
Any questions for me?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good night.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, anytime.
Next is Conservation Commission, Steve Scabaccio.
Picchio.
Scapicchio.
It's not out.
One of these days.
Picchio,
Bob.
I know.
One
I
of
know.
these days, Bob.
Picchio.
It's not out either, just so you know.
Yeah.
Caught that on video.
People have been butchering that your whole life.
Yes, they have. Like I told you earlier, I pretty much answered anything. So a couple things since the town meeting. One of the questions I have is who do you want to sign the contract with FB Environmental for 19 Mile Brook?
Who do you want to have signed?
Yes.
Which one of us?
Or all of you, or Audrey, or me. That's
No,
I need.
It has to be the selectmen.
Okay.
You can't spend money.
So this is the contract. This is the same one that we brought to you earlier. I want to get them on the books before they tell me they're too busy.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that the chairman sign this contract on behalf of the selectmen. I don't know if you read it, Dave.
I've not seen this before.
Nothing has changed?
Nothing has
since
changed
we last
at all.
reviewed this?
That's correct.
I'm gonna defer to you just because this is brand new to me.
Okay, I'll second. Do you want to have time to
Are
review
these
that?
the can we have discussion with the second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are these the same folks that have been doing it?
Yes.
Okay, when are we gonna get the results of 2023?
Should be this week. When I talked to them, they said the third week of March.
Okay. Maybe we'll have a little more control over that next time.
But yeah, next time is not, the challenge that we had with this one, it was a 3-year contract. So they weren't required to give us the report till the end of the 3 years. So I didn't negotiate that one, so sorry.
That's Wolfboro.
But this one's only a 1-year contract, so there's no excuse that they don't have to merge 3 years of data and come out with all kinds of analysis on it.
Yeah, well, hopefully the results will be readable if it's 3 years with the data. I hope so.
If it's not what we want, I can certainly go back to them and have them explain what they're talking about there. They're pretty reasonable people. I mean, I haven't had any challenges dealing with them at all.
Do you want to review that through the meeting, or?
I mean, there's a fair amount of
Yeah.
of
This is time sensitive?
Well, it's time sensitive to the point that I want to get the town on their schedule before they're booked. And then they can't do it. That's the only reason it's time sensitive.
So 2 weeks would be, not,
Sure. Or, you guys, yeah. It wouldn't be, I'll just let them know that, the selectmen are reviewing it and it'll be 2 weeks.
well, I'd like to give you a decision tonight, but I also want to make sure that Dave is up to speed.
I mean, I'm familiar enough with the project, but in terms of being able to sign off on a contract, I don't feel comfortable with that at this moment. So do you want me?
you guys have the contract, so you
I
can review it.
tonight.
Yeah, you can review it and decide what you wanna do, and if you're okay with it, then it's certainly at the next selectmen's meeting. Next time you guys get together for
There
time.
was a motion to, go ahead and sign it and approve it, and so you could,
Table it.
or base it on, if there's no changes, then you could sign it Thursday when you come in. Or if Dave doesn't have anything to do Thursday.
Well, we don't have to vote this minute. We can vote later on in the meeting,
Well,
maybe.
No, if you wanna sign on Thursday, we have to vote right now.
Yeah,
So what we'd vote would be, as Audrey described it, is subject to David's approval
Right.
on Thursday or Friday, whenever you come in for checks. So if David says no, he needs more time on Thursday, then it doesn't get signed, but if he says yes, then you get to sign it. It just keeps us from stretching it out for
Right.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to stretch it out for 2 weeks if we don't have to. But I also think that we can do this, not at this minute. We can do it later, or you can do it in an hour.
Yeah.
If you want to skim through that for a while.
you have a lot of other stuff to review too.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we can have a decision for you tonight.
It's okay, 6:30, I'll be in the next room, so.
Okay. All right. All right. At some point tonight, before we part company, we'll
No problem.
we'll take the vote.
Yep.
So we won't take the vote right now.
That's good.
So the other question I have, I've been dealing with Audrey with Accountant Property. And, she sent a note off to Mike, and he came back with the agreed upon price was 60,000. I just wanna make sure that's what you guys agreed to, cause I was under the impression it was 55. But he came back with 60,000, so I'm a little confused cause I wasn't involved in that, so I don't know what the selectmen agreed on for that. And I just wanna make sure it's clear before we proceed any further.
We'd have to go back to the minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was 55.
That's what I thought, that's what you've told me all along, Chip, but he came back and said the agreed upon price with you guys was 60,000 because, I don't
And I
know.
don't know what, do you have the town report right with you?
I do.
Okay. How much did we get approved?
65, I believe it was.
65?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm good, Bob. I remember it now.
Yeah, it was 65.
Oh, I don't. I must have pulled it out.
Thanks. More prepared.
Thank you.
65.
65, 350. Were there other fees involved with that, other than the purchase? Was there a survey or something else we had to pay for?
Well, I think he said something about the survey in the letter. I don't quite recall what it was, but there will have to be a boundary lines adjustment because we're not gonna subdivide it. We're just gonna add it to the town property that's existing there already. So there will have to be a survey to draw the new lines. But he said something about that.
His lot line adjustment, he said there is a study that was taking place several years ago that he'll give the town, all that data.
But that doesn't draw the lot. I mean, you
Right.
physically have to have a surveyor go out there and actually physically draw the lot lines so that,
Right.
so what he had done prior to that doesn't really matter. And then there'll be whatever legal cost is involved as well.
Right. And in your grant process, do we get money back if we pay for the whole thing up front?
I'll have to find that out. So I'm pretty sure, I'll have to validate this, Chip, but I'm pretty sure that we can't actually buy the property until the grant is approved.
Right.
I think once the grant is approved, then we can pay for it, because that's all part of the calculation that they use, so we cannot physically purchase a property until the grant is approved, otherwise we lose the grant.
And what's the time frame on the grant?
It won't be till this fall, so we have to submit it in June with LCHIP, and then they'll go through their whole process and let us know. I believe it's in either late October or early November.
So even if we have the money, we can't buy it?
That's correct, because if you purchase a property they won't grant money
You
for
don't need
property
to
that's
grant.
already purchased.
Do we put a deposit?
You can put a deposit as long as you don't formally purchase the property,
Right.
but you can put a deposit
But you
down,
can't
yes,
put
and we can sign a
$50,000
purchase and
deposit.
sale. We already have the appraisal, so we don't need to get that done, that's already done and paid for. So you can do the purchase and sales, and if he's requiring a deposit, give him the deposit. The only thing we cannot do is purchase the property, because then we'll lose the grant.
Well, I think it would be prudent to put a deposit down to at least lock up the sale.
Or sign a purchase
As long
and
as we
sale.
agree on the price, right?
Yeah, that's why that's why I really
Yeah.
wanted,
If he doesn't require a deposit and there's a P&S in there,
he can't sell it.
yeah.
That works
So I
too.
would say, unless he asks for one, there's no reason to offer.
That works
Yeah, I
too.
think when you contacted him, you didn't say anything about a deposit, did you, Audrey? No, we just said we wanted to put a purchase and sale on it, so.
Mhm, yeah.
But I don't know what he's gonna come back at. I don't know Mr. Carlton at all. He sounds kinda like a old New Hampshire whaler and dealer to me.
No, he's a businessman.
Is he? So,
All right, and Mirror Lake,
so Mirror Lake, we have, we got the approval from the town to move forward with the loan. There'll have to be an application put in by June 1st to apply for the loan. And last time it was a guy Pike and myself that did that. I don't know who you want. I mean, I think even Audrey could do it. There's no requirements, but I just don't want to wait to the last minute like we did the last time and 2 days before
right,
the application was in here at 8 o'clock at night trying to fill it out. So I just want to, again, these are just clarification things I'm trying to get done to move forward.
so you have the forms that need to be.
It's
filled out.
online. You have to do it all online.
And Audrey, you could work with Steve.
I could, in April I could.
Does that work for you?
Yep, that works fine.
Okay.
I mean, we have all the way up until June 1st, so we have April and May, so anytime that we can set up a time to do it. It's all online. I think it took like 45 minutes the last time.
Okay.
And that's it. Those are the three things I wanted to get clarification on since the town meeting so that we
And
could move forward on all of them.
just for clarification, the piece that we're buying up by the transfer station, that's now gonna be incorporated in the transfer station property or in some other piece of property?
I honestly do not know. The town owns the transfer station and then it owns a piece out back. So I don't know which piece it's gonna be. I don't know where the transfer property ends. So this piece of property goes from where they dump the wood
Right,
all the way back to the current property that we own. So there's that piece in there. I don't know if that's actually part of the transfer property. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember where the lot lines are, Chip.
all right, well, we should figure that out because that might work on the grant somehow, I don't know.
Well, we'll work on the grant if we incorporate it, if we can incorporate it into the Great Meadow
Right,
property that we have now versus the transfer station property, that would work a lot better.
right,
They would be much more apt to give us that land if we say we're gonna make that property part of the Great Meadow.
okay.
That would be my preferred way to do it.
Okay,
That's what you implied to the voters too. Yeah.
Well, there'll have to be an easement on it if we're getting L-chip money, because they won't give you money unless you put an easement on it.
right.
And I don't know if we can do that with the or you would even want the transfer property under easement.
No. Okay, oof, I'm good.
Sorry, I'm reviewing this, and one of the things it says, with regard to the quality assurance documentation, this is task 4 on page 2. Under the schedule of work at the very bottom, FB is prepared to commence field work in April of 2024. Moving to the second sentence, if optional task 4 is desired, FBE will begin working on the quality assurance document upon the signing of the contract so it can be completed prior to the start of the sampling season in April. So, if that quality assurance documentation is something that we really either are required, it sounds to me like that is optional. These quality assurance documents typically come in the form of a QAPP and SSPP that is reviewed and approved by NHDES. If acceptance of the data by the state is desired, FPE will draft. So there's a certain, there sounds like a conditional part to this contract, which is task for the quality assurance documentation. And so that seems to me like it's really just kind of ups the, if we're gonna do this, we need to move it along because of the April sampling season.
Because April's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't wanna wait 2 weeks.
No, I guess I just didn't understand how.
Well, we're not required to do this by DES, so it is our option to either have that so we can submit it or not. I'm not sure that this qualifies the information if it came down to it and we're in court together.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm thinking that it's for, right? So if you're getting the qualification from DES, then they're kind of validating everything moving forward. We're saying, this is what we're gonna do, and they're saying, yep, that's great. Go ahead, so.
Okay, yeah, but I'll put a little caveat on that. I don't have, personally, and I hope the board doesn't have any intention of asking DES whether we should do this.
No, it
Because
hasn't.
they've categorically refused to put us in the loop with the Wolfboro RIB property. So,
I believe that all we're doing is qualifying how the data is gonna be collected.
right.
It has nothing to do with getting approval from DES to do it. So we're gonna move forward either way.
Right. So that quality question that you had is to qualify, my understanding is to qualify.
Is it in our better interest to do so? I guess is my question.
Yeah, because otherwise, coming from that industry, they call that a quap. So you wanna have that done, otherwise you might have to do it later to prove that the data was done in such a way.
Okay.
So it's basically,
I mean, it's in the quote in terms of
Yeah.
cost. It's a $2,600
Right.
cost,
Mhm.
but it's in there.
it's now or later if you need it.
Okay.
And
So it's being
cheaper,
proactive,
probably
essentially.
cheaper now.
Aside from taking the vote on this, is there anything
No,
else?
I'm good. That was it. Those are the only 3 things I had on my,
And you're gonna be next door?
I'm gonna be next door.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Capicchio.
Scapicchio.
Oh,
Ska, pick,
pick. Got it.
E-O. Phonetically, that is.
Got it.
Like,
Thanks, guys.
It's like Pinocchio, Scapicchio.
That's it. Very good, Bob.
All right. All right. We have a non-public, so I'm going to make a motion that we go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, 2C, reputation. And this is roll call vote. The Murray, aye.
Albee, aye.
Sorry, Dauphin AI.
Okay. Okay, and we have a second non-public tonight. This is going to be under RSA 91A:3, 2B. Review of police chief candidates. We have applications to review. Roll call vote, Murray, aye.
Albee, aye.
Dauphin AI.